Hey there everyone, this is Joe in General, your resident reason and evidence enthusiast. It's Tuesday the 4th of July, 2017. A quick shout out to my US subscribers because even though it's technically not the 4th of July just yet, I do want to wish you an early happy Independence Day, 1776 baby. And of course a shout out to my recent subscribers. Had a lot recently, currently now 3,576. Welcome to all those who have come on board in the last week or so. This video is an update talking about some recent ICOs, initial coin offerings that I have personally contributed to. So I am an investor in the 4 coins that I'm talking about, tokens. I will be talking about Populous, EOS, FunFair, and finally AdEx. And I'm talking about them I guess as an addendum or as a follow-up to my video from about 5 days ago, talking about Populous, but really it was to sort of illustrate the current power of the ICO, the initial coin offering, and how if you do get in on some of these ICOs, you can see potential, it's not guaranteed, but potential large increases in your investment. And these 4 tokens I have gotten into. I have purchased other ICOs, but a lot of them, the tokens haven't been released yet. These are some of the ones that have, except Populous. Well, I'll touch on that one first. But AdEx, FunFair, EOS, etc. I've received the tokens, and they are currently tradable. And they've already, some of them have a little bit of a profit, and some have a very large realizable profit, except for Populous, not because it hasn't gone up in price, it's just an unrealizable gain so far. What I mean by that is this is the only one of the 4 here that I'm talking about today that is still unrealizable. The token does not exist yet. However, as I talked about in this video here, there are people already lining up to get their hands on this token, PPT, and they're willing to pay a much higher price than the initial offering. So I'll start with this one. I did talk about this in the last video, but this is the ICO that didn't happen. This is the ICO that started as a pre-sale and sold out completely. And the initial buy-in price was 0.0011 Ether per token. You had a minimum buy-in of 5 Ether. You got a 2% bonus on that. The calculation worked out to that you would receive for this contract 4,635 tokens. You could spend more and get a larger bonus. So your per Ether price would be less, obviously. But let's just base the current unrealizable gains on this contract here. I did this calculation last time in this video, but it's higher now, so let's quickly talk about that. Let's pop back over to Ether Delta. So as mentioned in the last video, these are people lining up to get their hands on PPT. Could they all be fake orders to sort of drive up the price? Sure, they could. Based on, the amounts that people, the amounts here, doesn't seem to be fake to me. But of course that these could all be wiped out, magically disappear, and PPT could go to 0. So of course, do your own research. But I don't think that these are fake. I think these are people who tried to get in on this or didn't even hear about this before the ICO occurred, and now they want to get their hands on them because they do feel like it may be going higher in the future. Populous, do your research on it. I'll put a link to a video that it's about an hour, I think hour 10, an hour and a half video, goes into a lot of detail on Populous and why you may consider getting it when the tokens are eventually released. The date of release is Sunday, the July 9th. I'm eagerly awaiting that. But I'll put a link to a video. It's by Silver the Antidote, their channel. Really good in-depth discussion of Populous. But anyway, let's get back to the calculation. If I was to sell now, if I received my tokens and I was to sell right now and this person wanted to buy all of my tokens, let's see what I would get for them, and then we'll work out the percentage increase. So 0.02. is what someone is willing to pay. So as I said, you get 4,635 tokens for your minimum 5 Ether investment plus 2%. Let's times that by that 0.02 equals 92.7 Ether would be what I would receive for my 4,635 PPT. Again, unrealized profit at this moment, unrealizable. Let's minus the initial investment of 5 Ether, and that's an increase of 87.7 Ether. Pretty good profit, yeah? Let's work out the percentage. To get the percentage, you divide it by your initial investment, happens to be 5, and then you just times it by 100. That is a whopping 1,754% increase on your initial investment. Again, this is an unrealizable profit because the tokens don't exist yet. But assuming that they were released in the next 30 seconds, I was to sell at this price, that's the profit increase, the percentage profit increase that would be gained. Now, Populous, as I was probably talking about before, a lot of buzz surrounding it. It has a similar buzz to when Veritasium was being released, and we can see where the price of Veritasium is at the moment. That's hovering at around about 0.6 Ether. There's been a lot of calls, and of course, you know, a lot of it might be blue sky thinking, but they're calls of when the token is released on the 9th of July, the PPT token, that it could open at closer to 0.1 of an Ether, possibly 0.2, possibly even 0.3. I think that's quite blue sky thinking, but that remains to be seen. It could go completely to zero, could open here and just tank. There could be a hell of a lot more buy orders placed here in Ether Delta before the tokens are released on July the 9th. And it could open at 0.1. But you know, let's do some blue sky thinking. You know, why not? Let's do some blue sky thinking, and let's assume maybe that it's going to open at 0.1 Ether. Well, I don't really need to do the calculation on that, because you can just work out that the increase, well, the profit would be 463.5 Ether, right? Minus your initial investment is 458.50. Divide by your initial investment, times by 100. If it opens at 0.1 Ether, big if, but you know, let's just play blue sky thinking. If it does, that's a 9,170% increase. Let's talk that in dollar terms. 463 Ether times, I haven't checked the Ether price today. Let's say it's 250. It might be higher, it might be lower. Let's just say 250 US dollars. That's 115,000 US dollars if it opens and if you decide to sell. Okay, but at least right now there was that 1,740% increase of an unrealizable gain in Populous. That is the power, current power of the ICO. Okay, if you want to get your hands on Populous, you may have to go over to Ether Delta and put in a buy order. You need a MetaMask wallet, which is this one here, in order to be able to even participate in Ether Delta. Very likely it's going to go to a larger exchange, a Poloniex, Bittrex, maybe Kraken even, maybe even on July the 9th. Maybe that gets released or announced, I don't know. But once it gets to one of the big boys, I think you're going to see some higher prices than currently what it is right now, at least. So that's Populous. Whew, can't wait until I get my hands on that token. Okay, so moving on to EOS. This is one that I contributed just recently. It's had, the token event is a year-long event, but I contributed to the first period. It was a 5-day period, and they had on offer 200 million EOS. Now, the pricing structure is a little strange as a calculation. It depends how many ETH are received, and then you get a percentage of that. They work out the calculation. I did the calculation before. I couldn't be bothered doing it again, but it worked out that when I contributed to the 5-day period, the US dollar per EOS price worked out to $1.25 roughly. So let's just call it $1.25. And let's see where EOS has gone to already. And we're on Bitfinex. Pretty cool, actually. Bitfinex, one of the largest exchanges, has recently listed EOS. I reckon that's pretty damn cool. Thank you, Bitfinex, for doing that. So this is the US dollar price, and it was released on, what's today, July the 4th here. It was released on July the 1st on the Bittrex website. And here you can see it opened at around about 50 something cents. It got pretty soon up to that $1.25 mark. And we have topped out so far at $5.48. Whew. So let's assume that you picked the top, the very, very top. Let's call it, no, let's not call it $5.48. Let's just call it, screw it, let's just call it $5 even. Let's say you sold out, you got your EOS tokens and you sold out at $5. Let's do the calculation on that. I'll do it per dollar price rather than per ether price. So $5 minus $1.25 buy price, that's $3.75. That's a $3.75 increase. Let's work out the percentage. Divide it by your initial, which was $1.25. There you go, a 300% increase already. And that's a realizable gain, unlike Populous, which is not realizable yet because it hasn't been released. This is trading right now. So let me go back here. And if you had a sold at about $5, that's a 300% increase. It's currently trading at, let's see, $4.06. So it's going to be less than that. So let me just quickly do it. $4 is a little annoying, dude. So apologies. 25 divided by equals, there you go, if you sold out right now, if I sold out right now, all my EOS, I would have a 224% increase. And this is just early days. Let's punch into maybe the 15-minute chart here. As you can see, we have come up all the way to that $5.48 mark. Bit of a sell-off, you know, a decent consolidation down. Bit of a dead cat kind of bounce there, and where we did get down to about $3 something, but we're back up. Don't see why there would be any reason why this will not see higher prices in the future. I don't know how long I'm going to hold on to EOS for. I could be getting out of this you know, much quicker than, say, Populous. I'm in Populous for the long term. I think for at least about a year. I think this has some really good legs based on, you know, other people's research, based on a whole bunch of different factors. I may sell a tiny little bit, maybe to get some more ether to be able to contribute to ICOs coming up in the future. I will be talking about some new ICOs coming up, so subscribe to my channel. But that is EOS and where that is sitting at the moment, a 300% increase, and that was only at $5. Higher percentage increase if you had a sold at the very, very top, but around a 220 something % increase just now. I mean, again, power of the ICO. So that is EOS. Okay, on to FunFair token. Now, this one here is all to do with online gaming, and they're getting into the crypto space. And I bought this one. This was on June the 22nd. 17 billion tokens were created. They raised $26 million. And I did the calculation before, and it worked out that I paid 0.00002364. That won't let me put the 4 in there, but 0.00002364 per fun token. Okay, so and I invested it was a couple of ether. It wasn't that much, but it netted me 88,822 fun tokens. So again, and I spent 2.1 ether. Okay, so let's look at the current profit that is realizable, and to we have to head back over to the Ether Delta website. It's the only exchange that it's listed on at the moment. Again, Ether Delta really small, kind of fiddly to deal with. So once this hits a larger exchange, I think we're going to hit much higher prices. Also, FunFair I think is a longer term hold as well. I got into it for a couple of reasons, but I'm a long-term holder on this one. I'm not like EOS. As I said, I may get out of that soonish, depending on where the price goes, but this I'm holding on for a while. May take some profits here and there. But right now, if I was to sell my all 88,822, we'll just do it like that so I can just work out the percentage. So let's see, the price is up to 0.0009. Remember, I bought in at 0.000, 4 zeros, 2364. This is 4 zeros, 9. So as you can already tell, that is a profit. But let's just pop in 88,822, and that would net me 8 ether. Let's just call it 8 ether. As of right now. So let's do the percentage increase on that. 8 ether minus the initial investment, that's a 5.9 ether profit, divided by 2.1 equals times 100 for a percentage, a realizable percentage increase as of right now of 281%. So kind of similar-ish to EOS. That is FunFair token. Again, the power of the ICO. Whew. See these gains? These are pretty good. You guys may consider getting into some ICOs. Of course, again, do your research on that. So that is FunFair. Currently, as I said, trading on Ether Delta only. Wait until it gets onto a larger exchange and see the price go higher, in my opinion. And finally, I want to talk about AdEx. Now, this is the one that has had the least amount of profit so far. It could even be in a loss right now. I'd have to double check the price. And I got to talk about this one because I'm a little bit peeved. I've got a little bit of a gripe to talk about with this one. But I contributed to this one, it was only a few days ago. I think it was, I don't know, July something. No, June 30th, I think it was. Since then, it did open, but it did more like what usual markets do, is they have a bit of a large pop and then they sort of sell off. But this is the Liqui website. This is where it's one of the places it's listed. It's also listed on Ether Delta. So ADX is the code. So it's 00091 at the moment. Now the per ether price that I did the calculation, it works out to, the entry price was approximately 0.00085. Okay, so someone's willing here to buy some at 0.0091. I'll do the calculation, but it's not that much. Let's head over to, where are we, to the Liqui price, and the current price here is, this is a bit of a smaller exchange, but someone's willing to pay 0.00088,500. So it doesn't seem like a massive profit, but as I was mentioning, this is one of the ones that did that more typical big rise and then a big sell off, almost back to its original, and then sort of coming back up and consolidating. So if, for example, this is the 1 hour time frame, if, for example, you stayed up late or got up early or whatever, and you knew that it was going to be listed on Liqui, and you put your buy order really high, or you watched it go up in that hour, and you sold out around about the top, it topped out at 0.00275. Let's call it maybe 0. Let's say you did really well and you called close to the top at about 0.00250, for example. Again, this is potential realized profits. So 0.00250. Let's do that. So let's say 2740. This is the amount that I got. It wasn't a whole heap. I just got about 2 ethers worth. And that's the, so yeah, 2 ethers worth, and that was the amount. So let's times that by 0.02, what was it? 0.00, sorry. So 23, let me go back, sorry, this one's a bit of a fiddly one, times 0.00250. that would net you, right, so 5.85 Ether minus the 2 initial investment divided by the 2 equals times 100. If you had have sold close to the top on the Liqui exchange, that would be a 192.5% increase, 192% increase in your holdings. However, this was much more of a usual pattern of a quick rise and a quick dip, and we're currently hovering, as I said, around about the original buy-in price. Now, this is where I'm going to have a little bit of a gripe, and whether or not it's a justified gripe, I don't know, but it's a little bit of a gripe. When we head over to Coin Market Cap and we pop in the AdEx code, we take a look at the markets that it's currently trading on. And you can see here there's the Liqui exchange there in the ADX to Ether, and there you go, around about 25 cents. That's the rough buy-in price. That's what it cost to buy in roughly when I originally bought. And as you can see here, Liquid Ether Delta around about the same 25 cents. And again, that's Liqui based in USD Tether. However, let's look at HIT BTC, ADX to ETH, $1.40. And you go, why the hell is it $1.40? So let's head over to head over to HIT BTC, to the ADX/ETH listing. And as you can see here, it's listing at, right now, the price. What's the price someone's willing to buy for? Someone's willing to buy at 0.004. Okay, so Liqui got to a high of 0.00275, and HIT BTC has it for 0.004. Why is that? Okay, the reason is because it's still currently listed as an ICO futures sale. So before ADX, the token was created, they created an ICO futures listing and people were able to trade. Now what's happened is they still haven't listed this as a regular tradable token. It's still listed in the ICO section. What that means is when you go over, I went over, I was like, oh, $1.40, what the hell's going on? I thought it was strange because you don't normally see that huge difference in market prices or prices between markets. And I thought, well, something's up here. And I was like, oh, I might be able to deposit my ADX and trade. And when you hit here, it says, and if you can't read this, I'll read it for you. Please note that ADX is an IOU for future issued token. Until the blockchain is released, withdrawals and deposits are unavailable. Please accept our apologies for the inconvenience. Okay, that's all well and good, HIT BTC, but the coin has been released and it's been a number of days and you still have not allowed deposits. Why is that? The rumor out there is, and if somebody does have the answer, because I heard a rumor, and you know, rumors are rumors, so treat it what they like, but put a comment on this particular video if you do know the answer. But the rumor is that HIT BTC contributed to the ADX token sale, and they bought a whole bunch themselves. I could be wrong, so please, if you do have better information, let me know. So I think it's one of two things, and it could be all very innocent. But if you look here on the ADX website, look at their roadmap, the key dates, and you see June 30th, ADX creation event starts, ADX creation event ends on July the 30th. Now, they might not be aware, and hey, this is a good opportunity if anyone from HIT BTC watches my video, probably won't, but if they do, the token's already out, dudes. It's been distributed, and you guys can start trading it properly now because it's already out. So that's either they don't know, and that's fine, you know, maybe they're ignorant to the fact that the token has already been distributed and it's been out for, you know, a number of days now. I think it's close, well, it's coming up to close to a week now. Or could be, and again, if you have better information than me, let me know, could it be that they bought a whole bunch here And maybe, are they possibly, I don't know, but are they possibly offloading their own ADX and getting rid of theirs while at much higher prices before they allow deposits and withdrawals, so then it would be freely traded? Because what you'll probably see is that what will happen is this will flatten out. That price will probably go down a lot. Will it go all the way down to 25 cents? Probably not. I'd assume maybe that this price may come up a little bit to sort of come closer to there. It might sort of meet, who knows whether it meets, further to the middle, I don't know. Or it could crash all the way down to that price of like about 25 cents. So that's my little gripe at the moment. It might be a completely unreasonable gripe, because they're still trading here just the futures contract, if you want to call it that, and maybe they don't know the token's been distributed. But when I come here and I see, oh man, I've only got like a tiny little percentage increase in my initial investment, and I see $1.40 here, it grinds my gears. Let me say it that much. But if you have better information than me, do let me know in a comment to this video. So hopefully I have demonstrated through these 4 tokens that I have invested in so far, the current power of the initial coin offering. Again, do your own research. I will be doing some videos on some tokens that I will be getting into in the next coming weeks. There are some ones that I want to get into. As a heads up, I want to get into Kin. There's one called Dent that I might get into. JSnip4 talked about that. I might possibly get into Insurex, and there's a whole bunch of others that I may be looking at getting into. So I will do a video on ones that you may consider getting into yourself. Thanks very much again for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Stay safe, stay informed. Speak soon.